It was the summer of 1787, when I first felt the weight of history in my hands. Philadelphia was thick with heat and heavier with tension. The windows of the Pennsylvania State House rattled with the voices of men locked in argument. Voices that would shape the soul of a nation.
My name is Esther Caldwell. I was 23, daughter of a modest printer, and one of the few women allowed, albeit unofficially, within earshot of the debates that birthed the Constitution. I wasn't supposed to be there, but necessity breeds exceptions, and ink-stained fingers like mine were in short supply. Each morning, I'd walk past the Liberty Bell, silent but unforgotten, into the Great Hall. Delegates from 13 states gathered, their coats stiff with starch, their wigs powdered with care, their tempers rarely in the same condition. Mr. Madison spoke with the weight of a man who had already written history in his mind. Franklin, though older than anyone should be in this heat, remained sharp and amused. I scribbled every word I could, seated behind a partition or beside a wall. When Hamilton thundered about central authority, I could feel the walls themselves stiffen. When Sherman muttered about state rights, the room seemed to retreat into shadows. I wasn't just a scribe, I was a ghost with a quill. One afternoon, James Wilson of Pennsylvania slipped me a note. Discretion and speed, it read. He wanted transcripts of the debate on the division of powers between federal and state governments. I copied them by candlelight in my father's shop, each stroke of ink burning a hole in my conscience. At the tavern, the real country spoke. A blacksmith feared losing his land. A freedman asked if liberty would stretch to his kind. A young apprentice named Thomas, just 18, red-cheeked and full of questions, worried that the Constitution was just parchment dressed in velvet. Who protects us from the protectors? He asked me one evening. I had no answer. One night, I overheard two delegates, names I won't repeat, plotting to soften protections for speech and worship. Too much liberty makes people unruly, one said. My hand trembled as I returned to my journal. I considered telling Madison. I considered leaking the information to the local paper. I did neither. I was a ghost, remember? Ghosts do not shout. The day the final draft was approved, the air broke open with applause. Franklin, slow and smiling, emerged into the sunshine and declared, "A republic, if you can keep it." His eyes met mine. I don't know if he recognized me, but in that moment, I felt seen. A year later, I stood in the square as the Constitution was read aloud. The crowd was a patchwork. Farmers, soldiers, freedmen, merchants. Some clapped, some frowned. One man wept. Thomas was there too. He was working with my father by then, binding political pamphlets. Well, he asked, do we trust it? I looked at the parchment. I looked at the people. I trust the people more, I said. Decades passed. The Capitol grew its dome. Wars came and went. So did Franklin, Madison, and Hamilton. Even Thomas. But not the Republic. Not yet. Now, as I walk past the old state house in my aging years, I remember that summer. I remember the heat, the hope, the fear. I remember being a ghost who wrote down the words that tried to bottle freedom. I served in the penumbra of great men, scribbling their words. But I learned the true republic belongs to the people, not the parchment. And I still believe that.